There's a special kind of pride that you feel deep down inside, a strength that seems to thrive in Lima, Allen County.
The American way of life, to get in gear and do what's right.
An unbreakable forthright link called real American strength. Lima, Allen County, real American strength.
Keeping you up to date with what's happening in your community. Community Focus on GTV2. Thanks for joining us today on Community Focus. I'm Anne Decker. Have you ever wondered how the emergency snow levels are declared? Well, Sheriff Sam Crish is one of the gentlemen who decides what the snow levels are, and he's with us today to explain how it works. Thanks for being here.
Yep, thank you.
Do you want to start off with the basics? What are the snow levels?
Well, we have level 1, 2, and 3. Level 1 is we're telling the people that the roads are ice covered and snow and possibly some drifting, and the roads are hazardous. Level 2, what we're saying is the roads are extremely dangerous. There's drifting snow, some roads are impassable, and we're encouraging people not to even go out unless it's an emergency. And then we go to a level 3, and basically level 3, we're just shutting down the entire county. We're saying it is so bad that no one can be out. And then when we do go to level 3, and that's exactly what it means, that we're just going to shut the county down, and you cannot be out at all unless it's an emergency health-wise, if you need to get to the hospital. Other than that, nobody can be out on the roadways.
Or you guys will arrest them?
Absolutely. They could be ticketed for being out.
How do you decide what the levels are going to be?
Well, there's actually 3 of us that on a committee, if you will. Tim Piper from the County Engineer's Office, Russ Decker from EMA, and then myself. So when we get some snow, what usually happens is between the 3 of us, we decide what level is appropriate. So the 3 of us are out, checking the roadways, talking to one another, and then we decide as a group what's the best level. Then I ultimately make that decision.
You know, frequently we'll hear some of the surrounding counties are going to a level 1 or a level 2, and it seems like we're lagging behind. We either haven't declared a level, or we're at a level 1 when maybe they're at a level 2. Why do we seem to be, not taking it quite as seriously as they do?
Yeah, and that happens a lot. We may be at a level 1, and the surrounding counties are a level 2, or even here recently we were at a level 2, and they're at a level 3. What we do in Allen County is certainly take a look at all the roadways throughout the county and come up what is best. And going to a level 3, again, we're saying we're going to shut the entire county down. So just to jump into a level 3 and say, okay, we're going to go to level 3 for a little bit to keep everybody inside, it's not that simple, because once we do that, we have 2 hospitals that there's going to be a priority, because now we got to get doctors, nurses. So when we go to a level 2, what we're saying is that it is bad, and please just stay home, do not go out. So basically, when we're at level 2, we're telling everybody, stay home. The roads are bad.
Am I right in that the last level 3 we had was during the ice storm?
Yes.
And I think otherwise it was what, the blizzard of '78?
Right.
I mean, it has to get that bad before we go to a level 3.
Absolutely, and I've got some calls about it and wanting to know why we're not at a level 3. And again, for us to go to level 3, it's going to be so bad that no one's going to be out anyways. And then we're going to ultimately end up, there's going to be a lot of the businesses in town will be shut down. So it's going to have to be something that is just extremely bad, to where when you wake up and to go outside, there is no way, like the blizzard in '78. Of course, I was little, but I do remember it. I mean, there was snow as high as some of the street lights, so obviously nobody's going to get out. And so that's, we really take a level 3 very serious.
Well, and I think people forget, too, when we're at a level 3, you can't go to the grocery store. You can't take your kids somewhere if there's an emergency. You're pretty much stuck at home.
Absolutely. You cannot go anywhere. So if you have maybe some parents that you want to go check on, that's not it's an emergency to them, but it doesn't fit the criteria as being an emergency. If you check on your parents on a daily basis, or your kids or what have you, because you cannot go anywhere. So that's why when we take a look at it, to go to level 3, I don't think people really realize what all that would do to the county. So again, that's why we'll go to level 2 and say, look, if you do not need to go out, please don't go out. But if you do, you will not be ticketed by going out.
What do you recommend businesses do? Do they set a policy for if there's a level 1, a level 2, a level 3?
Yes, because I get a lot of calls about some people that have to go to work. So for example, when we go to level 2, we're saying again not to go out unless it's an emergency, and then these people are calling saying, you know, I have to go to work. If I don't go to work, I get docked. Personally, what I think ought to happen is maybe the employers maybe change or take a look at their policy and maybe adopt a policy if we go to a level 2. Maybe then they don't require those employees to come to work, or if they cannot get into work, maybe not be docked. For example, the courthouse closes at a level 2. We certainly cannot. Obviously, the sheriff's office cannot close. Actually, it takes a little bit more for us, but you know, when you're some of the other businesses will go when we go to level 2, will close their doors or maybe work on a skeleton crew. So you know, maybe the employers can take a look at, you know, coming into the next year about when we go to a level 2, change their policy, because we don't go to a level 2 very often. Hopefully, we don't have to, but you know, obviously it depends on the weather. But you know, once or twice maybe we go to a level 2, and it's usually lifted pretty quick. I mean, the road crew, the guys are out, and that's why we do that, to keep everybody in, get the roads clear, and open up the county.
And the time to decide your company's policy is really now, before we get into a situation where there's a question about it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is you know, this weather, or this winter's been terrible. You know, the cold, the snow, and certainly I think they should look at something when we go to level 1, 2, and then obviously a 3. I mean, we're just done, but certainly look at a level 2.
If people need proof for their employer as to what snow level they were on, they can get that online, can't they?
Yeah, we have it on the Sheriff's Office website. EMA has it. So they can click on that, and it's right there. We update that as soon as we go to a level, and it's immediately. So if we're at level 1 and then go to a 2, they can monitor that.
All right. Well, we still have almost 2 months of winter left. Sure, there are going to be a few more storms, but let's hope we don't have to go to a level 2.
I'm hoping we don't have to go to any levels.
Sheriff, we appreciate you coming in today.
Yep, thank you.
Sheriff Sam Crish. When we come back, we'll talk to Lima's street superintendent and talk about how they're dealing with the snow right after this on GTV2.
We're not doing well, Allen County. Almost 70% of our adults are overweight.
And close to 40% of our children.
We eat the wrong foods.
We smoke too much.
We don't exercise nearly enough.
We can do better.
We can do better.
We can do better.
Activate Allen County is working with schools, churches, businesses, and local government to influence policies that will help us all do better.
We can do better. For me.
For me. For all of us.
Join the effort to help Allen County do better by going to activateallencounty.com. Paid for with funding through a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Help keep the youth of Lima safe by donating to Lima Safety City today. Hello, I'm Chuck Eichelberger from the Lima Noon Optimist Club. Safety City is a very important part of the Lima community. The Optimist Club is renovating Safety City and it needs your help. Donations can be made by going to the website limasafetycity.org. You can also send a donation to Lima Noon Optimist Club, P.O. Box 428, Lima, Ohio 45802. Help keep the youth of Lima safe by donating to Safety City today.
They're down below, lines supplying utilities we count on day and night.
Sorry, Dad!
And knowing where these lines are located before you dig matters.
Sorry, Dad!
For every project of every size, call the Ohio Utilities Protection Service at least 48 hours before you dig. It's fast, free, and it's the law. Because keeping Ohio safe,
Daddy, can I help?
matters most. Call the Ohio Utilities Protection Service before you dig.
Crime Stoppers is still active in the Allen, Putnam, and Van Wert counties. Our goal is to assist area law enforcement officers to identify and locate individuals who have committed crimes. If you have any information about anyone who is responsible for committing crimes, please call Crime Stoppers at area code 419-229-STOP.
Crime Stoppers! Crime Stoppers! Make the call and pay! Crime Stoppers!
Welcome back to Community Focus. I'm Anne Decker. Pleased to welcome to the studio today Saul Allen. He is with Lima Streets Department, and he has been a busy man the last few weeks. This is the guy who's in charge of getting the snow plowed. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So what's it been like at your place?
It's been a very busy season. We've had quite a few snow events. The issues we've had this year has been not only the snow, but we've had quite a bit of wind with snow this year versus some of the other years. So it's taken a lot longer on a lot of these small storms. Haven't gotten what I would call a lot of snow, but we have gotten 1-2 inches here, and then we got a lot of wind along with it.
So are you guys keeping up?
We're keeping up. We're keeping guys out. We're keeping anywhere from 6 to 10 crews out in plows. Trying to keep ahead of the snow. I've been ordering salt on a weekly basis, so that's something that's continuing to happen as well. So.
Are you getting close to the end of your budget for overtime or salt?
Right now, I think I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through my budget as far as overtime.
Well, we still have 2 months left of winter.
Exactly, but it is what it is.
True. I mean, this is one reason we have government is to keep our streets in good shape.
Exactly, and we're going to continue to plow no matter what. So
good. How does it work when a storm is coming in? What happens at your office? How do you prepare?
Usually we already have our trucks ready. Most of the time we have all the trucks already full of salt already. Usually, depending on what time of day it is, we always have at least one guy on duty. If we start to see snow coming early, we'll start to bring guys in. We'll start anywhere from usually about 4 to 5 extra trucks in, and then we can go up as high as, like I said, anywhere 10. And if we really had some issues, we'd probably go up to 12 trucks. So.
Are you on the streets as soon as it starts snowing? Do you let it accumulate first?
Usually we try to hit it as soon as it starts snowing. What we usually try to do is hit the primary streets, which we consider the streets that are, heavily traveled. Try to get those taken care of, and continue staying on those until we get those cleaned up. And usually it takes a while to get those cleaned up. Once we get those cleaned up, we start to move out into the neighborhoods. So.
Okay. It's not just the snow that's been causing trouble on the roads, but when you have all this freezing and thawing, you get the resulting potholes.
Exactly. We've had that issue too, and when we have had some clear days, we do have crews out patching potholes, so we do always want to tell everyone, feel free to call them in. A lot of times people assume that we know about them, which, if I don't see them or one of my guys don't see them, we may not have any idea, that they exist. So feel free to call 419-221-5165 with those potholes.
Okay. Do you have any advice for the folks when it comes to the kind of snow we've had?
Best thing we can tell people is, as much as possible, please try to remove your cars from the street. A lot of times, we want you to try to get into your driveways. A lot of times people have alleys that they can get into. I know for a fact that we do have one neighborhood that everyone goes and parks in a church parking lot until we come through and plow. But as much as possible, please try to move your truck or cars off the street. A lot of times people call, complain, well, you guys haven't been down my street, I may drive down the street and I look down the street, it's like I can barely get my car down there, let alone a truck. So no, we're not going to come down as long as we can't get a truck down the street. So.
Okay. Give us your phone number one more time if people have questions or they want to call in the location of a pothole.
419-221-5165, and that's the Street Department.
All right. We appreciate you coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Saul Allen from the City of Lima. I'm Anne Decker, and this is Community Focus on GTV2.
My name is Rick Stolle. I'm the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry for the city. We are a division of the Public Works Department and are located in the Central Services Building at 900 South College Street. We can be reached at 419-221-5195, and our office is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Our charge is to direct the continued development, security, and overall maintenance of the city parks, recreational sites, the Riverwalk Bikeway, as well as recreational programming and other activities, including the operation of Schoonover Pool. We also oversee the management of the urban forest, which includes trees located on city-owned property throughout Lima. We have nearly 400 acres of land that we maintain annually. Included in the green space use are rental opportunities for shelter houses and other park facilities. We also supervise a number of adult and youth activities ranging from summer playground program, softball, baseball, basketball, and volleyball, to name a few. Our rangers see to the safety and security of not only the parks, recreational sites, and rec programming, they also assist with the surveillance of the reservoir system for the city.
We're not doing well, Allen County. Almost 70% of our adults are overweight.
And close to 40% of our children.
We eat the wrong foods.
We smoke too much. We don't exercise nearly enough.
We can do better.
We can do better.
We can do better.
Activate Allen County is working with schools, churches, businesses, and local government to influence policies that will help us all do better.
We can do better. For me.
For me. For all of us.
Join the effort to help Allen County do better by going to activateallencounty.com. Paid for with funding through a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Good morning. It's 8:07 from News Talk 1150 WIMA. I'm Mike Miller. Tuesday morning at this time, we welcome representatives of the city of Lima. Rick Stolley is with Lima Parks and Recreation. And Rick, we're getting no surprise here on this January 21st. You just came from outside a host of closings now with area schools, and it's just frankly not very pleasant today.
Just even traveling uptown, people are driving, they're being precautious, and people are taking their time and everything. But when it sneaks up on you overnight and the wind's blowing like it is, I wouldn't want to be taking a bus out this morning.
Yeah, I was telling you here a little bit ago, I was feeling pretty proud of myself. I took advantage of the somewhat mild day we had yesterday. I go, hey, I'll tidy up and throw some snow around here and brush off some of these walks. That way when the deep freeze hits, they'll be all nice and, not so much with 20-mile-an-hour winds.
It's, as my son told me the other day, Dad, I think you're just rearranging the chairs on the deck of the Titanic.
I'll take that as a backhand, and I'll take it for what it's worth. So, nevertheless, despite the weather conditions, things continue on, certainly with your department, with the city of Lima. And, of course, at this time of the year, we think of the active programs, and we're talking about the basketballs are bouncing, right?
We are. We are in our we just completed our 5th week, I believe, and we're well into the season. Teams are getting some great basketball in. Again, boys and girls, grades 3, 4, 5, and 6, the 2 different leagues. And looking forward to bringing the season to a close in about the middle of February.
Mm-hmm.
So we got about another 3 or 4 weeks left. And then we start tournament play, which will take us to the end of the month. And it should be quite an exciting tournament. From what we've seen, and the talent's pretty well split up this year, and as the different entities did a terrific job of spreading the talent among the teams, and so you see some very competitive games. And what's great is that the competition, as it's played out, people start looking towards that tournament, saying, okay, who are we going to play? But we've got just a bundle of teams in the league, both boys and girls, and so how the tournament shakes out, it's going to shake out, and we'll look forward to that event coming up here towards the end of February to wrap up the league.
Are participation numbers as good as usual for you guys?
Yes, actually we're up a little bit this year,
right.
And we actually added a couple of different entities to the process. And when you look at the overall numbers and you look at the overall involvement in the league, you're kind of awestruck. And when you look at the amount of organization it takes to pull all this together, it's incredible. But it comes together. People have a true passion for youth athletics, and that's what makes it work.
No question about it. And, of course, taking pride in your youngster, getting your kid involved in different sort of things. 224-1150, that's our local number. If you have questions or comments, things happening with the city, Rick Stolley will do his best to answer your question. And so the hoops is coming to a head, and of course everybody's interested to know what's going on at the park now that the closings everywhere today. I noticed Lima City schools, Lima Catholic schools, all the suburban schools apparently all closing now. If the weather gets a little bit friendlier, maybe later in the day, can people head for the park?
Absolutely. We are in advance of this current snow event,
Mm-hmm.
which really began last Thursday. When you think about it, we closed Cole Street and started stocking up the shelter house there at Thomas Shelter at the bottom of the hill with wood, and boy, it was a busy place this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Even yesterday, as I went by last night, about 7:30, 8 o'clock, you could tell that the hill had taken on some sledders for the day. It was starting to get worn out. So this fresh powder, as the slopes management calls it,
and the cooler temperatures,
and the cooler temperatures are
right.
going to make it a very nice sledding situation for a day off of school.
All right, so good to go. Certainly. How does that work out there? Are some precautions that you would advise people for sledding, or is it the usual just look out for other people when you're slamming down the hill?
You know, it's so much common sense. You get out there, and we always just ask people to respect the others around them. You know, watch what you're doing. Be safe. Have as much fun as you can, and enjoy the opportunity. But again, you know, you don't take a sled full of people and barrel into another group of people.
Right.
It's all about being courteous to each other and having that whole respect for what the event is, and not just, you know, sledding down the hill.
How many of the old school sleds with the rails, the metal rails, do you see? Is it rare?
It's rare.
Is it?
Yeah, yes. You know, but you know, what they have out now.
Those
you know,
plastic things where you can fly
you
on
can,
those, can't you?
Yeah, I can remember a couple of years ago, someone actually brought a mattress out.
Wow.
And we're getting it with a little bit of a visqueen underneath it, and had it, you know, this home remedy.
Did it work?
It worked. And they were piling 12 people on top of this thing and getting up and down the hill pretty well.
All right, having some fun with the weather. That's what you have to do. And we'll have some fun and more conversation. Rick Stolley is with us for just a few more minutes until 8:30. Questions or comments regarding recreational activities and the parks with the city of Lima, your chance is now at 224-1150. It's 8:14. 8:17 News Talk 1150 WIMA. Tuesday morning with representatives of the city of Lima. Rick Stolley with the Parks and Recreation Department is in studio with us. Obviously, top of mind is the weather situation. And what kind of challenges does this weather force you guys to deal with the parks? I mean, what, plowing the pathways in the park? I mean, what kind of things do you do?
You know, some things we try to do right off is obviously get, you know, the spots that we welcome people into during this time of year, which is, of course, when we're just talking about Sled Hill, getting that dressed out so people there's plenty of parking and doing the things that need to go on over there. But then, you know, we also take care of bridges, overpasses, underpasses. We help the street department with that. We also take care of a lot of the sidewalks around our parks that we want to make sure that are you know, people are able to traverse during these times of the year. But you know, we keep very busy with a lot of those things. And then there's also our winter maintenance program that we go through, and I think we're upwards of 20, 25, maybe 30 picnic tables that we're going to be constructing over the winter months. And then, of course, you know, breaking down our equipment, doing some of the maintenance things to those as we bring those in. And you know, we have a, you know, pretty short crew in the winter months. Then, of course, we also take care of all of Town Square. So every time it does this and the wind blows like it does, I mean, we're up there a couple times, you know, a day, just to make sure that the drifting and so forth, that people can get in and around the square.
I guess I didn't realize that you guys, that's part of your obligation.
Yes, it is. I mean, the park or the square is a park, and it's one of the 12 or 13 that we count on our list of maintenance opportunities for us to take care of. So we look forward to the challenge, but at the same time, you know, we also realize that Mother Nature usually wins most of the battles, and we come in and clean up afterwards.
Yeah, I like that. You're working on picnic tables and things during the off year because is it me, or it just seems like in the last few years that reunions and gatherings of different variety have really picked up at the parks.
They have. I think, you know, we looked at this a couple years ago back, maybe as early as 2008, 2009 even, that, you know, people were beginning to stick around. And with the price of gas going where it went and where it has, and you know, people enjoy the opportunity to create those events here in town, and family reunions, weddings. And we just started taking reservations right after the first of the year, and then some of those slots are beginning to fill up. You know, of course, your major holidays, those kind of fill up a lot quicker than most days. But before you know it, you know, you'll see 7, 8, 12 shelters on a Saturday, and then repeat it again on a Sunday for the whole different group of people. So
almost by default, with the somewhat treacherous winter that we've had, has increased expenditures and has left the budgets a little tight?
You know, just getting into that whole budget situation, I know we go before council in the next couple of weeks here. I think it's next week, actually. We'll sit down and do some of the budget hearings. But I think people realize there's a certain amount of service that they want to see. And I think people believe that, the city can provide it, and we want to do the best. One of the things we've got, do the best you can with the resources that we have, and that's our commitment to the community, both in the Parks and Recreation Department. That's what we want to do, and that's what we feel we have to do to keep the events that we provide and want people to participate in at the level we want them at.
No question about it, and certainly the obvious good luck here through the rest of this winter. Maybe this will break here in another week or so, and it'll be mild all the way to into April. I was boasting that after we cleared the stuff about a week or so ago. Yep, looks like we're good to go now. It'll be mild through the rest of. Oh wait, it hasn't happened at all that way.
Yeah, what is it? Don't fool with Mother Nature, and we understand. Some winters a little bit long. Like if you remember last winter, it wasn't as filled with the snow events that we have, but it was just long. The temperatures and the nasty weather. I mean, it wasn't so much a bunch of snow, but it just drug on before it got warm again.
Yeah, much sadness with that. 8:22, still a few minutes yet. If you have questions or comments for Rick Stolley from the city is in studio with us. Rare opportunity to get a chance to chat with him. As we look ahead, we think about springtime and beyond, and that's when when your department, Rick, welcomes new employees on board, correct?
We are in the process. We started right after Thanksgiving. We made some announcements, and people are starting to apply for a number of the positions that we offer seasonally. Our playground program, our ball diamond crew, just our seasonal maintenance staff that we bring on, as early as April in some situations. In others, it's not until June. Of course, the whole pool staff that we bring together. So it's a time. This is the time. If you're interested in coming to work for the City of Lima Parks and Recreation Department, we would advise you, and people are doing it online,
right? Which
they can do. A lot of our college students are doing it right from their dorm rooms and coming up with, we're receiving 3 or 4 applications a day, if not, a week that are coming in. And so last year we went through over 100, I think it was 103 different interviews last year. And so it's a process. We begin it early. We do the best we can with again, the information that we gather and try to bring on the best and brightest that we can for all of our programming.
Yeah, and this is like everything else. The early bird catches the worm. So get in order, get your stuff in order. If you think it might be for you, some of the summer employment with Parks and Rec. Of course, as I've commented to you, I'm a big fan of the swimming pool, and the last couple of years, I just think you've had really an excellent crew out there.
We've been very blessed. I mean, it's one of those things that you try to set people up for success, and no matter what we're doing. And so as we go through that process, we look at we understand what we need, what we want to get accomplished, and then we match those people up as best we can. And you're right, Mike. I mean, we've been very, very fortunate to what I would say hit a home run with the talent we've brought out to the pool and our other programming as well.
Smart, conscientious young people, they are definitely out there. And of course, a lot of times we hear cynicism about today's youth, but I'm telling you, there's a ton of great kids yet.
Mike, you hit it on the head. We usually bring them in once we've hired our staff. We bring them in and at one of the mayor's press conferences right before, and to listen to where these kids are going, where they're at now, school-wise, what their majors are, what their involvement is. This is something else they want to impact their own lives with this experience, so it makes them a better candidate, better qualifies them for what they're looking for to get into down the road. So it's a two-way street. It's one of those reciprocal agreements that we have with the talent that we bring in. Hey, do the job, and boy, some of the talent we've had here is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll tell you what hits you. Maybe it's as much as anything, it's a case when you yourself get older, as the older you get, maybe to some degree, the more you are, the more impressed you are with the power that some of these young people have with their physical capabilities, and otherwise it's kind of fun to watch them figure that out and use it in a positive manner.
It is, and the way they take their experiences, some of the kids, if not a majority of them,
that we have in our playground program actually went through our playground program as a youngster. They know it. They know what we want. They know what we expect, and it's one of those things that they jump right to it. And across the board, we get a number of people coming back, returning from the year before. They go through the interview process, and it's amazing how much they've even grown since last August. Or we bring them back in, and so the experience is great. The opportunity to work and serve the community is something that they treasure and they want to put on a resume, and they want to use, again, to get to where they want to go in their careers.
All right, excellent. Rick Stolle is with us. Final couple of minutes. The obvious, always asked, the potential for ice skating. It's out there. What are the ponds looking like?
After that warm spell here,
we had 5 straight days of 40 plus.
Yeah, we got a lot of soupy areas. It's going to have to freeze again and stay cold for a good 3 to 5 days before we can, go out and get a good thickness that we need to get on that ice. And people forget that, even with the cold temperatures we had back right after the first of the year there, we had a real nice cold spell. And, but we also got a lot of snow, and that snow laid on top and kind of blanketed the ice. So it's
this could be the stretch in here, though, couldn't it?
It could. It could. We'll see how it shakes out. But all the signage would indicate right now that there is no skating. But once it's available, we will flip the sign and give the green light and hopefully get some skating on the ponds.
Who on your staff serves as the guinea pig, or do you have more refined techniques of testing ice depth? All right.
That's we leave that to our maintenance supervisor. Del Barton usually goes out and he'll drill at a number of different spots on the ponds and get a test and just make sure that we've got the thickness we need. And if we do, then we'll open it up. If not, we'll let it sit the way it is.
All right, that's
just use caution.
He will drill.
We do actually drill the thickness to see where we're at. So
really, what is it? 8 inches?
We try to get 7 to 10.
Is it really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, just in certain areas. I mean, and there's some areas that that in the past we've actually roped off some things, but we've been advised not to do that because of different situations.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. So we'll keep our antenna up for that. Certainly. People want to find out more about City Parks and Recreation. The website is outstanding, isn't it?
It is. We're very fortunate. The city actually entered and was successful in a contest to redo the website, and it's been terrific. We put up a lot of events under our recreation site on that site, and we invite people to go to it. It's awful long people remember, so I usually tell people just to Google City of Lima. And
there you go.
Look for our website.
Look for the obvious link.
Yes, and jump on there, and boy, it's just fabulous.
Who do we tip our caps to there? Gary Wurst did a good job with that, didn't he?
Absolutely, Gary. Yeah. And the team that he puts together, and I'm telling you, Mike, you look around, and I've looked at a lot of different city websites and primarily recreation sites, and there aren't many that can stack up. That's for sure.
Outstanding. Well, Rick, good luck with the weather here the next few days. Certainly to everybody listening. Also, it's going to be the kind of the trying times of January, but somehow we'll muscle through it, and we'll see you at some basketball game here sometime soon. Huh?
Look forward to it, Michael. Thank you.
Rick Stolle from the City of Lima, our guest in studio this morning.